You've seen all the glitz and glamour of pageants, but not what goes on behind the sash. Hey y'all, I'm Megan McCaffin. I'm your Miss Wildfire Volunteer, and on this episode, we are here with Miss Yellowstone Volunteer.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I know. We were talking, and you were like, I always listen to every single one. I was like, I know who's getting interviewed in January. All right. So, a couple of starter questions, like what is your name, your current title, serve project?
Okay. My name is Tiann Lubkeman, and my title is Miss Yellowstone Volunteer 2025. And my serve project aims to spread awareness, education, and support for those with epilepsy across the state of Montana. It's not really talked about much, and I think we need to shed some more light on it.
Yeah. So why did you, I know this is your first time competing, why did you choose the Miss Montana Volunteer Organization?
I really liked how I could get scholarship money for school since I'm going to school for pre-med right now, hopefully to go to medical school in the near future. So that was a big deal to me. That helps me get through school. And then I also get to serve in my community at the same time. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's the biggest reason why a lot of people compete at scholarships, because oh my gosh, it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid expensive covering in school. Right. So do you have any plans for your year? We're kind of like right in the middle of our years right now. So do you have any upcoming plans, or are you just
upcoming plans? I do have an upcoming thing. I can give you a little drop of some information. It's not really out yet. I partnered a couple months ago with Epilepsy Alliance of America, and I'm putting together a concert of sorts. And they're going to be there. And it's going to be kind of a partnership where, you know, you can go and you get to learn about epilepsy and what to do when someone's having a seizure. You get support, different connections all around the country. And you also get a great night of music. So
very nice.
Date and time to be announced.
Yay. Very nice. So what was your kind of initial thoughts when Jan was talking about like taking on local titles? What was kind of going through your head when that conversation was happening?
I think I was just excited that I could still kind of have something official to put on when I'm serving in my community. I do a lot of volunteer work, so it's just kind of a cherry on top.
Yeah. I think that's something that, like, I know I kind of talk about it kind of often, but it gives that air of, like, officialness. Because even though I'm, like, mental health first aid certified, I don't walk around with my certification. I'm like, here you go, this is that. Like, that, I don't know, this one little piece of fabric means so much, and it's so strange how that ends up working.
Yeah, like, normally if you wanted to go do some kind of volunteer work, and it would be kind of hard to get in and do it, you're like, hey, I'm, you know, Miss Yellowstone, Miss so-and-so, and they're like, let's get you in next week.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bananas. All right. So, what was your favorite part of pageant week?
Oh, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I went into pageant week. I had no idea what a pageant was. I've never done one.
Like, we're just going.
I was. Alyssa, she DM'd me on Instagram. I was like, hey, girl, you should come to a pageant. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't know, what's kind of out of my comfort zone. And I didn't understand at first the, like, I guess you want to put it like sisterhood of like between all the girls, because I was like, you know, we're competing against each other and it's like a beauty pageant. That's what I came into it thinking. And then by the end of the week, I think there's probably not one girl that like I can call right now, this moment in time, be like, hey, I just need to talk to you. Like, I just need a friend.
Oh,
and
easily.
I just didn't want anybody to like get cut. I was just like, can we just all be title holders together?
I know. And that's my favorite thing about doing like the local title, is because you can still like go out and work with, even just like with when Madeline McKay came to the Christmas stroll, I was like, like we're all doing stuff together. It makes my heart so happy. And like even Carly, like she DM'd me and she was like, thank you so much for putting this on. Like I haven't had many opportunities yet. And I was like, I feel like a big sister. You guys are, you're all my little babies. Because it's not my first one. I want to help you guys as much as I can, but it's still one of those things where it's like I'm dealing with my own crap. So sometimes I feel bad because I'm not able to do stuff. But then I get like messages like that from Carly.
I would have to say I have to add my second favorite thing about pageant week. It's an important
Please
one.
do. Please do.
So, I had very, I'm not gonna say low confidence, but when you're walking around on stage in some high platform heels under bright lights, it's a really big growing experience. So I think like the whole week, I really grew as an individual, like confidence wise. And I think that's translated over into my everyday life. Because if I can walk around on stage and in heels on a sparkly dress and whatever else, I mean, I can be confident at work and all that. So I recommend doing a pageant if you've never done one.
Yeah.
Coming from me.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things that, like, that is my de facto go-to if I'm ever like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm like, Megan, you walked around on stage in these giant heels in a swimsuit to be judged. This is nothing. Get out of your dang head. Okay, so, what was one mishap that's happened during your year thus far?
During my year, think. Like, related to title holder wise?
It could be either.
Okay.
If you haven't really had any, that's a title holder.
I don't think I've really had any as a title holder. I don't really think I have. I've been kind of overly like making sure everything goes right. I can't really think of the big one. I've had a pretty good few months, unfortunately.
That's awesome. I will say one thing that happened during the Christmas stroll that nobody else saw is it's healed right now, but I totally fell off the chair.
I have one. I have one.
Ooh, yes.
I forgot.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So I went and I judged a pageant up in Great Falls on it was the day of the Christmas stroll, actually.
It was like earlier in December,
And I wore this bright pink dress. It was like long sleeve, very cute, very cute. And I also decided I'm gonna wear some cute, platform nude heels, like the ones we wear like during pageant week. Look extra, pageanty because I'm at pageant judging. And I walk into the auditorium, and I'm wearing a bright pink dress, so everyone's staring at me. And I didn't know the ramp going down the auditorium was a little too steep, and I ate it. Like, my knees skated. And then I just got up, and I just started walking confidently down there.
Heck yeah. No, I swear. Auditoriums are, like, so bad about that. Like, oh. It was so bad. But no, I completely fell off the chair and ate crap at the Christmas stroll, and I was like, you know what? I should take a video of this and send it to my mom and Bryn, because of course that would be me. So I did, and Bryn was like, Megan, I can't trust you. And I'm like, you can't.
I think I could also add that I had to go up and do awards and like hand out the title and crowns. And I was getting nervous because it was my first time. And it was also the thing of stage lights. And these shoes were like the shiny like leather, but all of it was, you know where this is going. It got slick. Like my shoes were slick and they were open toes. I was fighting for my life walking around on stage, trying to look graceful as I'm walking across, and I'm just sliding.
Thing. Like I literally had to put hairspray in my swimsuit heels because I would like slide forward a little bit, and I was like, you gotta stay put. I like literally used hairspray in my shoes. I'm pretty sure it's still there. They're packed up in a box right now, so it's fine. It's not my problem.
I'm not wearing those shoes again. Moral of the story.
No, I love those shoes. They're so cute. Okay, what is your favorite memory from your year as title holder?
My favorite memory. I think I have two of them. The first one being when I went to Head Start preschool, and I got to spend the day with preschoolers, a whole classroom of them. And they just thought it was so cool. They called me just a princess every day because they liked the little crown on my sash, even though I'm not a princess. But they're like, you're just a princess. You're so cute. And, like, I got to spend time with these kids, and they're just awesome. I think Head Start Preschool gets, like, overlooked a little bit. It's an awesome program. So awesome. And it was so fun. I got to eat with them and hang out with them and do crafts with them and recess with them. And if you ever volunteer at Head Start Preschool, they're going to have you pushing them on the swings all recess because you're the weak link. The teachers won't do it anymore.
The teachers know. They know. No, that's so awesome.
I think that's kind of tops my things.
Yeah.
The little preschoolers. Oh, they're so cute.
They're so cute. That's so much fun. All right, what is your favorite memory from pageant week?
From pageant week, I think it was just the culture that we had during the week between the girls. It didn't matter what we were doing. Like they were all cheering like me on. I was cheering them on when they were on stage, and it was really exciting. It was, I just don't know how to describe it, but it was just the culture that we had that whole week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know I talked about this with Donna for this past episode too, but we were talking about like how the wings are always the biggest section, no matter what, is always the biggest section. Like everybody else in the audience, everything playing and clapping, but you can hear like audible screaming from the wings because we're all just like screaming our heads off. I guess you mentioned it like a little bit. Are you planning on competing next year?
I believe I plan on competing next year.
Okay.
I might branch out and get some more pageant experience before. But
yeah,
I think I'm definitely gonna do it again just because I get to see all of you guys again for a week. And that would be awesome.
Yeah. So are you doing any like preparations right now to kind of like go back to state, or are you just kind of hanging out, kind of focusing on title and school and stuff?
I think I'm doing a little bit of both. I've been planning out, I'm gonna make my next pageant dress. I decided I'm gonna sew it. I'm gonna hand beat it. It's gonna take me forever and I'm probably gonna regret it halfway through.
That's how every craft is. You regret it halfway through.
Yeah, I've started kind of planning that out. I planned out what piece I'm gonna play for talent. Okay. It's gonna be super cool.
I'm so excited now.
I've been watching lots of YouTube videos and Facebook videos of like different walks and stuff like that. And I practice a little bit in like the dance studio, but it's kind of a ways away, so
yeah,
more focusing on title holder stuff. But in the back of my mind,
it's kind of like just in the back of your mind. Yeah, for sure. All right. So, what was one difficult part of pageant week for you? You kind of already mentioned like the kind of like shaky confidence going in.
I thought it was gonna be the confidence of doing it because I was like, all these girls have been doing this for years probably. I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I'm gonna look silly. But the hardest part was when they did the first line of cuts. That was the hardest thing I think ever because I got to be so close with all of you guys, and that just broke my heart. Like I hated it. I hated every minute of it. So that 100% was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, honestly, I agree because, and I feel like I've mentioned it a couple of times before, maybe on here, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times. No clue where. But I have this weird like survivor's guilt because I won People's Choice. I got automatically placed in the top 7, and I know I fumbled like so much during all of my stuff. So, and you were right behind me for People's Choice. So I know if I hadn't won, you would have, and I probably would have been cut. And, Gabe would have been a part of that top 7, but because I had that People's Choice, that kind of automatically placed me up there. So it makes me feel guilty because I, like, prelims, evening gown, I absolutely fumbled. Swimsuit, I definitely fumbled, not as badly as I did for my evening gown because I stepped on my gown, and I know because I heard a crunch in my face immediately, which just went, oh no, because my entire gown was beaded. Thankfully, you can't see it because I looked afterwards, but fumbled during that. Like, I just was super fumbly the entire time, and I just, I don't know, weird survivor's guilt thing, but
I don't think you should feel guilty because winning People's Choice means like Montana wants you.
Yeah.
To like keep going in the competition.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about Montana liking you.
All right. Next question. What is the funniest thing that happened during pageant week?
There was a lot of funny stuff that happened.
That's true.
There was a lot. Maybe I'll list off a couple things.
I was going to say, we can just go on down the list.
That's something to just laugh about was we were in what we were like t-shirt. We had to be like a dresser. I mean, it was like when we were rehearsing, how many hours a day? In
90% of the day
in the auditorium with no AC, in heels and socks.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know. I feel like we had fun with that. We were just laughing through the through the horribleness of it. And then when they turned on the AC, we were like, oh, this is what AC feels like.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, every time. It's so stupid hot in there. I do not know why. There is no reason why it should be that hot. Well, the gym was worse. Like the first day.
Oh, we were learning all the dance numbers in the gym.
Oh. I feel like the gym was worse than the auditorium because it had absolutely no AC. They never turned it on. But then at the same time, the auditorium, we were all in heels.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. I don't know. That one's kind of difficult.
Yeah,
I
don't know. There's just a lot of stuff you could just look back and laugh at.
Mm-hmm. Me falling on my ass.
Oh, maybe it was we were learning how to walk up and down the stairs in the platform heels.
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing at myself the whole time, so I was like,
I know, you feel so clunky. They're so, I don't know. Yeah, they actually are kind of like just big and clunky and you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I feel comfortable doing that. Yeah, I can't really pick one.
Yeah. I always say, I feel like an unsteady mountain goat, and everyone's always like, mountain goats are supposed to have balance. I'm like,
are they supposed to be really balanced?
Not this one. Nope. Okay. Last two questions.
Okay.
What advice do you have for those who are thinking about competing?
My advice is to compete. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's a really good growth experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a week where you make a bunch of new friends who, like, I mean, I'm sitting next to one of you. I didn't know her before the pageant. If I would have done the pageant, I wouldn't be here. And if you're really like doing stuff in your community, I mean, whatever that might be, I mean, I would say do it because it gives you, like I said, like kind of a more official badge to be like, hey, I want to come and I don't know, work at the animal shelter for a day, or you know, go to the food bank and do stuff. And you can kind of just walk into places as well. I found, you know, if you want to go and be at an event and support and share your serve project, it's just a great opportunity, I think.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I feel like it opens up a lot of doors because even with just like my last title moving into this title, like when I was at the Christmas roll, like the entire reason why I was able to do that is because I volunteered like last year with my title. So I was still on like the email list, and I got that email where it was like, oh, hey, if you want to do like a nonprofit activity, I was like, that could be cool. So I kind of emailed in to the like social media like event coordinator, and she was immediately just like, oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds like so much fun. Like if you have anybody who like doesn't want to help out with you guys at the booth, like we'd love to have them help out with Santa, like blah blah. And they came by the booth as they were kind of like walking around, checking out everything, make sure everybody was okay. They were immediately just like, oh my gosh, hi Megan. And it was so sweet to know that you had that community build up from like one year to the next. I think that's something that like stays with a lot of people, even if they do have like a state title and they give it up. Like it's insane how much of a reach it has. It's really nice how that happens.
Speaking of opening doors, not only are you building all these connections with so many people all over the state, and like I have a connection with Epilepsy Alliance of America. They don't, I wanted to bring that to Montana. We have the Montana Epilepsy Foundation, but we don't have that in the other one in Montana yet. And that's across the country. And I got to build that connection, which is so cool. And then all of a sudden you're getting all these connections. And also on like a job resume, I think it really shows that you're dependable and, you know, you're out there working hard and doing stuff in your community. And I just think none of those things can hurt you.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter where you go.
They look great on a resume. Like even with me going into my student teaching, like I had for one of my classes for one of my finals, I had to go to an event that MSU held where it was like, oh, like a Teach Montana fair where it's like a bunch of schools, a bunch of educators all like go into like our student union building. They set up and I literally got 2 job offers while I was there. And they like saw my resume and they were like, oh, Miss Montana Volunteer, like what's that like? And I had talked to them about it. one of them said, I'm assuming that's why you have such like a professional aura about you. And I was like, that's the nice thing ever said to me. Like, it helps not only in your personal development, but also your professional development. You don't see that until you're in that position, which is absolutely wild, because I've been doing this is my second title. I did not know that it affected my professional development that way until I had like the superintendent say that to me. All right. Very last question that we have.
Sad. Last question already.
I know. It flew by. Right. What is one mental health mantra or habit that you live by?
Oh, I have a big one for this. So I went through it with my mental health, specifically when I was in the process of getting officially diagnosed with epilepsy, because the way it presented growing up was different than what they like need to actually diagnose it. And then when you get to be an adult, it completely it changes on what they're looking for to diagnose you. And so I just didn't know what I had growing up, and I thought, like, I'm just weird. I'm just a weird person. I'm quirky. And I didn't know what was happening, and I was going through doctor's things. And then when you officially get that diagnosis, I just felt like I was different from everybody, and my mental health just tanked. Like, it's just a lot to be told, hey, you can't drive, and you can't go swimming, and you can't go, be anywhere high, just for your safety. And it kind of feels like everything that you love doing, because I loved doing all those things, I couldn't do until my seizures were under control. And I had to do a lot of self-reflection, I think, and spending time with myself and doing things I used to do when I was younger, because I think I forgot doing those. It's like painting and just sitting with my cat and reading books. I've gotten into reading poetry. Reading poetry really helped me. And it's just finding self-love, and giving yourself the time to sit down and say, I don't need to work on all the schoolwork. It can wait. I can come back to it tomorrow. I'm going to sit and spend time with myself. And I think that's made me more productive in other aspects of my life too, because now I'm able to separate school and work and take care of myself.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something that's really interesting, that your mental health kind of like tanked after you got your diagnosis, because for me it was the exact opposite, because I only got diagnosed with like depression, anxiety when I was like 12 or 13, but I started showing symptoms and having those kind of like negative thoughts at 8. So it took like roughly about like 4 years or so of me dealing with this and not knowing what it was, until it got to the point where I like literally told my school counselor, which I'm so sorry that I did this, but it was like the only way I could think of, that I was going to go home and kill myself. And I straight up told her that, and by law they're required to like get you into the hospital that day. So I told them that, and my mom took me in. It felt like my parents finally saw what was happening.
You felt seen.
I felt seen, yeah. And so the next day they like made me an appointment with my pediatrician, and he was immediately just like, okay, yeah, like this is an issue, like let's figure something out here, like therapy, meds. And they were like, oh, you have depression, anxiety. And growing up in like the rural like K-8 schools, that was not something they really talked about. And it was also in that weird in between point in time where it was like technology was just starting to like kind of take off and do stuff. So, and it was still like at those K-8 schools, it was still very much just kind of like the rolling carts with the giant TV on them. So we didn't have like all of this technology that kids now have, because I guarantee if that happened to me now, or that happened to somebody now, it would not take as long, because you have all the information in your hand. But I didn't have that, so it was even more difficult, because I just knew that I didn't want to be doing this anymore. I just wanted to lay down and not move. And there were some days where I did that. I just laid down and I was like, I'm done. We're not moving. And my mom would walk in and think I passed out. And then I got to the point where she would walk in and think that I was dead, which is absolutely terrifying for a mom to think that. But I don't know where I was going with this, but that validation that something was actually wrong made it 10 times better for me. But I can see how that would switch. It's just interesting to hear that and to see that.
I think the biggest thing with mine, I think it was opposite when I got diagnosed. It was the exact opposite. I mean, before I could tell myself, I'm just quirky,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know. It's just something I do. I don't really know.
You could live in that denial.
When I got that diagnosis, I didn't know anybody with epilepsy. I didn't know one person, and I felt like, and also like going through, like having a seizure and going through that, it is, I can't even describe it. It's like you just feel so different from everyone and alone. And I basically went into my neurologist and like I got my diagnosis and I was told I couldn't do all these things and I was just kicked out of the office. Like they put me out of the office. I didn't receive any mental health like things like, hey, here's your resources for you. I was not given any resources. I wasn't told anything about it. I just got this label put on me, like you have epilepsy. And
you just kind of got bombed, basically, and there was no cleanup.
I wish that they would have had resources available. Kind of, when you get diagnosed with cancer, I know cancer is maybe probably a little bit different, but you're given all these different resources for mental health and ways to take care of yourself. Support groups. And I wasn't given any of that. And that's what really made me want to start my Serve project, was to make people, be heard and seen and validated. Because I think in the end, that makes us not feel alone in what we're going through.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I feel like community is one of the biggest pillars of anything that you do, especially if it's health related in any sense of the word. Like having a community behind you makes the biggest difference in like anything and everything. And that is kind of odd that they didn't have any like resources or anything. I felt like when I got diagnosed, or even whenever I get diagnosed with anything, it's just like, here's a mountain of pamphlets. Yeah, I don't know, that's strange. I don't know why my brain's fixating on that, but that's really odd that they did.
Yeah, I definitely fixated on the fact that like I just was left with this word that I thought it defined me. And that's when I ended up making my TikTok page, and I kind of made it not really as a joke, but maybe just to post stuff to make myself feel better, even if nobody's watching it. Yeah. And it ended up blowing up, and I think I've reached over, I think it's 90,000 people on one video now. It keeps going up, but the comment section, I knew I was doing something right when the comment section was like, I don't feel alone in this anymore. Oh my gosh, I needed to hear this right now because, I was gonna end my life. Like I felt so alone, and I'm like, wow, this one video that I posted had this impact on all these different people. Yeah. So I want to keep that going. Yeah, that's good stuff. Sure. Yeah. My my TikTok, I don't even care about how many views I get. Yeah. Or how many followers. It's just that I've created that community where people can talk to each other. And I think it's just so beautiful when I look on there and there's people just having conversations with each other and sharing things and connecting. And I'm like, I wish I would have had that when I got diagnosed. But I'm glad that like I can provide that place for some person. Because some people going to a support group like in person, it might be really scary and intimidating and nerve-wracking. Yeah. And reaching out, to an organization that you might feel out of place. And so when you're just scrolling through your phone on TikTok and you just get to comment, from afar, get that validation. Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff.
It really is. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that is all of the questions I have. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And if you want to see more, it gets posted the first Thursday of every month. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.